that we expect and hope to do a better job of this week. But now starting today, we've turned the page and we're starting to focus on Denver.
And for you, like when Ron would talk about like there's sometimes, maybe you get off a guy a little bit too soon. Sometimes you got to hang on with him long. What's that fine line? And were there some examples where it's like maybe it's easy for you to see, okay, I got to do a better job here?
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, it just comes down to trusting my feet, and my feet will always keep me on time in my progression. And so I think I've done a really good job of that in practice. So and I did a good job for most of the game. There were just some plays here and there where I just got to continue to trust what I'm taught and trust my feet and trust my progression.
Week one's always kind of weird, almost kind of around the league because you just don't quite know, especially with a team like Arizona that had a lot of changes. Was there anything that they did that maybe just surprised you a little bit, or the offense at all?
Honestly, not really. Obviously we kind of went into the game expecting a lot of things just because we know the history. We knew the history of the DC, and we knew all the things that he's done in his past. We didn't know exactly how they were going to play us. But no, I mean they didn't really show us anything that was different than what we saw. It was just a matter of we turned the ball over too many times and didn't execute at a level that we would like to.
Obviously, it's early in the season, but last year when you started a game, the season was over. Now you progress to the next week. What's your process like now, building one week after the other? What's your process like to get ready for the game?
Yeah, definitely got to take care of my body. So just coming in on Monday and spending a couple hours on treatment and getting a good workout in. And then meeting with the coaches and watching the film, going over the film, and then on Tuesday it's pretty much moving on to the next game and still trying to focus on recovery and get my body to a place where it feels really good. I mean, we have our first practice today, first practice of the week today, and my body feels back ready to go. So I'm excited.
When you looked at the sacks, was there a collective takeaway of something to clean up or any common thread?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always gonna, err on it was my fault just because I think I could have done a better job. There was some of them where I just ran out of bounds at like a yard or two behind the line of scrimmage, which is just dumb. Just throw the ball away. Obviously the strip sack for the touchdown, that was on me. I was just trying to do too much, especially down there backed up. Don't try to reverse out and spin out of it. Just be smart. But for the most part, I think there was places to go with the ball. I just got to do a better job getting the ball out of my hands, and the O-line did a good job throughout most of the game. And obviously the stats don't show it, but I got to do a better job helping those guys out.
One of your strengths is pushing the ball down the field. You haven't done it a ton in your first two starts. Is that why is that?
Yeah, I mean it's a combination of a lot of things. There was some chances in the game that I think plays I'd like to have back where I could have had an opportunity to get the ball down the field. But it's just a matter of those situations will come up, and when they come up, I just got to do my best to see the look that we're looking for and take advantage of it. But hopefully there'll be some more of those looks coming up.
And when you look at the tape and you say, hey, these are the things I want to correct, or these are the things I want to keep doing because I'm doing well, what's that balance like when you're working into the next game plan for this week?
Yeah, at this point, I'm not even at this point. None of my thoughts are about the previous game. It's all about what's our new game plan and what's our mindset going into Denver this week, and how can I attack that and get to know the plan and get to know the defense as best as I can going into Sunday. So I'm really not focused on anything really that happened in the game. Obviously, there's some things throughout the week that we know that came up in the game that we'd like to do a better job of, but all my focus is on the game plan for Denver.
You talked about recovery and getting back in. How are you feeling? I mean, that was a really physical game.
Mm-hmm.
Did it feel differently than Dallas or even college games?
Honestly, I ran the ball in college so much that it wasn't really anything crazy. Obviously, it was a physical game, and it being the first game of the year, the first time that not only me but all the guys played a whole game this year was a big factor in that as well. But it was a physical game, but I feel all right. I think I did a good job in recovering the past 2 days and getting 2 good workouts in, so my body feels back to normal.
And there were a couple near misses throughout that game with Logan, with Terry. Do you have time? Have you taken the time yet to connect with those guys and try to look at that together, or is that to come this week?
Yeah, that's definitely something we do after the game is when we sit down and watch it, and everyone kind of watches it with their position groups. So we always talk and try to get on the same page and try to figure out why things didn't happen the way we wanted it to happen. But we definitely have an open line of communication.
How has Jacoby helped you overall, and then specifically on game days, like after a series? How much discussion do you have with him on the sideline?
Yeah, I mean he's been awesome to have here. Such a great guy, great teammate. But no, obviously he's been around a lot of football and he's seen a lot of football and he's been in this league for a long time and he knows what to expect. And he's done a really good job just throughout the week and helping me and telling me little things that he sees on film that would help him if he was playing. Then on game day, he's just always very supportive, very positive, and just always kind of gives me confidence before I go back out there on the field. So it's been awesome to have a guy like that here.
And when you guys went to Florida for your throwing sessions with guys, how much did you coordinate that with him? Like, how did that kind of transpire with Jacoby?
Yeah, definitely a little bit of both. He's from down there in Florida, so he kind of knows the area a little bit. So he had some contacts down there as far as getting us on certain fields to work out in. But it was definitely a combination of all the quarterbacks coordinating that.
Sam, going into the Denver Broncos this weekend, Jimmy Garoppolo was able to lead the Raiders to a win over that team. Different styles of quarterbacks between you and Jimmy G for the most part, but do you still find that there are things you can take from his experience in week one, given that the Broncos have a new defense this year?
Yeah, I mean, definitely watching the film and just seeing how what their plan was going into Denver, and obviously they had success and ultimately won the game, and that's hard to do, especially in a place like Denver. It's a great environment for them, and it's a super exciting opportunity for us to play a road game in a hostile environment. But yeah, I mean, obviously just watching the film, there's a lot of things you can take from not only what Jimmy did, but from what the Raiders were doing on offense and things that worked, things that didn't work, and just getting a feel for what the defense is doing.
And then, young quarterback, obviously a lot of the story is about progression and continuing to get better. Are there any parallels in your experience so far, first couple of starts in the NFL to your first couple of starts at North Carolina?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a similar process. I feel like every single week I'll continue to improve. And I think every single week that I have under my belt, I feel more comfortable and confident going into the next one. So I think it's definitely, as the season goes on, I think I'll continue and try to improve every week.
Obviously, a lot of firsts for you this year, but now thoughts on you going on the road for the first time, your first start in a maybe hostile environment?
Yeah, I'm excited. I love playing on the road. It's a lot of fun to go play at another team's home and try to give it your best shot. We feel like we can go in there and we have a good opportunity to go play against a really good football team in a really cool stadium, really cool environment. So it's just a great opportunity for us as an offense to. We got to have a really good week of practice and a really good week of preparation to go in there and give ourselves a chance.
Take two more. Have you ever dealt with altitude?
I have not that I know of. So that's definitely something we'll kind of be talking about all week long. And I know Jake, our nutritionist, he has some things that might help us for that. But no, I'm excited for it. People have talked about it a lot, and I really never experienced anything like that. So I'm excited for what it brings.
Sam, the next few weeks you're going to play up, I know not directly against, but very established quarterbacks in the NFL, Russell Wilson, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts. Are you at the point where you're trying to measure yourself against some of the best in the NFL, and who did you kind of tailor your game after when you were watching football when you were younger?
I wouldn't say I'm trying to, measure my game. I'm just trying to do the best I can each and every week and try to give my team an opportunity to win football games. I'm going to try to be myself. I'm going to try to be the best player I can be each and every week for my teammates. And then to your question about who I watched a lot of Drew Brees. Drew Brees was my favorite growing up. Big fan of his and just the way he played the game. And obviously we're playing Russell Wilson this week. I watched Russell Wilson a lot as well. I think we kind of have a similar game style. He was one of the guys I watched growing up that I liked the way he played the game. So it'll be fun to go against him on Sunday. All right, thanks, Sam. Appreciate it, guys.